everyone, welcome to Craig Duswalt's Rock Your Life TV series, where we interview amazing business leaders and innovative entrepreneurs. I'm your guest host, Dean Cain, and I'm sitting here today with a gentleman who I do actually know I've met before, Mr. Tim Gillette. Tim, how you doing, my friend?
Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you. So, we're here to talk about something. I have no idea what it is, but I know this much. It's called Rock Around Your Blog.
Yeah, well,
blog.
Can you imagine that I'd be a rock and roll guy?
I can definitely imagine that. The book, the cover, you see it, there it is. This time you can judge the book a little bit by the cover. Yeah. But rock around your blog. So obviously there's rock, I get that part. Blog, tons of people blog. I don't know much about it personally, so tell me what this is.
The blogging industry's been around for about a little over 20, 25 years almost. It's just,
really?
Believe it or not, it's been around that long, yeah. And most people are thinking like this, like I gotta write a book type deal. Well, I took it in an angle of rock and roll music. I found songs that inspired me in rock and roll, and my book titles were rock and roll songs, so it became rock and roll. And when I realized that the biggest centerpiece about everything I did was the blog. Oh. So everything online is rocking around my blog. Understood.
Okay, so wow. All right. So I don't know much about the blogging industry. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I know there's bloggers out there who do things who say, they do, housewares, or this or that, or clothing, or accessories, or lifestyle. Or what? Please explain this to me, how this works, what you in particular do, and give me a little bit of an idea of what the blogosphere is like, because you say the industry has been around for 20, 25 years. I didn't realize there was actually an industry that is the deal. So
it started off with a lot of your radio hosts, or TV hosts, kind of like you are today, where basically they were actually sharing their log of what they were doing, like a journal or a diary online. That's where it started, and it got down to a lot of people now use it to teach from it, and we write like magazine articles. So, I mean, it's developed over the years, and it does have so many different ways. Your beauty people are sharing all the pictures, all the girls are fanning over you. Well, now they're fanning over me.
That's right.
But, it's become that developed in different things. Now business leaders are using this to write articles to share about their business.
So the business leaders will blog?
Yeah. Business leaders are blogging.
And they'll blog on like their own site, or is there a blogosphere site you go to, or do you create your own website and that's where you blog?
It's on your own website. It's a separate page on your website, and it's just a daily log of different things. So it's always changing. So this week I'm writing this article, and that next week that moves down, and I put a new one up there. So you're keeping everything up. So,
but the other ones are all accessible?
Yes, they're all accessible.
So now you have your blog.
Yes, I do.
And you rock around your blog.
Yeah.
So explain that to me just a little bit more in depth so I can figure that out, because it's still a little hazy for me.
Well, I like to keep you in the clouds, Dean.
It's good. That's tough.
Well, I mean, somebody's talking about social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I know we see a lot of what you do on Twitter. All right?
Sure.
You share your message out there.
Twitter quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, but what if you wanted to actually take that audience from Twitter and actually come over to your own?
So I would say, okay, here's me.
Yeah.
All right, so keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, it's taking that tweet and relating it back to your website. And
so instead of using 140 characters to say I don't like this, I could write a blog and explain my position 100%.
Yes.
Ooh.
And trust me, I've read some of your stuff. Yes, you should sometimes.
I should probably explain some of that.
Some of those people need to be instructed. I didn't say it that way.
No, it's true though. I need to. That's a good point. I never even thought about that being the case. Yeah. And you sort of, in that sense, you sort of hold on to your brand. You control your brand.
You build your own brand. So and when I started it was that. It's like you explaining to people like you do on Twitter, because I see how you interact with people on Twitter, and I follow a lot of people that way. But now it's developed into a couple things online, and most people are scared to start. They're like you and I are in a book, and they're afraid to write a book. All right, well, why not start with a blog? Well, I'm afraid to write in a blog. Well, just like you're doing here today, interviewing me, I interview people. And I teach those who want to get into blogging, go interview people. Go interview Dean Cain and actually find out, all right, about Dean.
They got to pay to interview me, though. I'm expensive.
Believe it or not, I've told bloggers to pay people like you. Really?
Tell them to pay me a lot of money, will you please?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Really?
Right,
That's
cool. The 50%, make sure the 50%
commission
comes back.
Gosh, you're tougher than my agent. So wait, so that does make sense. Then they have access to somebody, and they will write a story about them, and so you have your blog.
Yes.
And are you teaching others how to do this?
Yes.
So that's what you do. You take someone like me, which you're teaching me right now. Do I have to pay you for this one?
Well, we'll work out the deal later.
Okay. Because I never even considered that, like having my own little thing. I mean, I certainly have a lot of Twitter followers. I can certainly write something, and that would create some traffic, and people would understand what I say. So that's, you teach somebody, you say, so are you teaching people how to blog? Is that what it is? So
I do.
So you going to charge me for this?
Yeah, I know a guy.
Okay, you know a guy. Perfect.
I'll hook you up, buddy.
But that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What made you get? What is it? Because you were doing that? What made you get into that specifically? You just were found yourself.
I got started in this industry because I was trying to be a speaker, and that's because I was friends with Zig Ziglar and personal friends with him, and he said you should do this. I didn't know what to do to get started, but I read this article that someone wrote on a site called WordPress.com, and it said start your own WordPress account. And here I'm a dummy, trying to figure it out, and that's it. I just went in, and I wrote an article. And within a year's time, I had 20-some thousand followers who were coming in there to read my stories about how rock and roll inspired me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, why don't I turn this into a business? And I do have a system I teach people. I mean, it's very simple. You know what I mean? A, you got to get started. B, you got to write stuff. C, you got to get people to read. D, you've got to get them, build a community. And the last thing now, hey, let's monetize this. Let's make money at this. Like you said, you want to get paid to interview. Well, why not just not have that? But I have a way for you to make money on the back end too.
All right, so I get the you do the writing, the A, the B. You're updating it. You said, and then you said to. Can you run through the steps again, me again? So.
Number one, we want to get started.
Started.
Yeah. Number two, we've got to write content. We've got to write things like we write the book.
How often do you have to write content? Does it vary?
I actually do it daily.
Wow.
All right, and there's some people who can do that, and there's some people who can't.
I might not be a daily guy.
Weekly is optimal.
Great.
Yeah, weekly is optimal. One of the things I tell people writing content, if you're getting started, get 100 articles online as fast as you can. That way, I mean, just like using SEO, I'm not a big person using SEO, but now, okay, this guy's worth something. He's got 100 articles on this subject. I think I might want to trust what he says.
What is SEO?
Search engine optimization.
Aha.
Or as I tell some of my people, some extraterrestrial is outside.
I understand that completely. All right, so you write 100 articles. Does it have to be on one certain thing, or
no? You spread it out. Yeah.
You spread it out. So you hit 100 articles, and then how do you monetize it? Or are you going to give away all the goods right now?
No, I'll give you a little bit. I mean, you do advertising. I mean, you've got a big enough audience, you can advertise. Think about how many people come to read your Twitter feeds. All right, if you can monetize off of them, going, hey, Twitter, I bring you a couple thousand people. Maybe you should give me a couple bucks for that advertising money. You can advertise. Then there's an affiliate program. That's where if my friend Craig, who we're on his show, Craig wants to sell his boot camp, I would actually put a link on there to Craig's boot camp. If they buy it, Craig gives me a couple bucks.
Wow. You know, it's a whole big giant world that I know existed, but I've never actually been out there in the world, and I should have, and I wish I had, because it makes me realize that I'm only getting my word out in 140 characters instead of doing that. I think you and I are going to have to talk after this show is over and see what we can work out, because I really find that fascinating, interesting, and for someone like me and maybe someone like you out there, to control your own brand, to create your own brand, doing something you love and you enjoy and you're interested in, I think it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's the whole objective.
Well done. All right, so. Just so we get to know a little bit about you, so the viewers at home, any particular mindset that made you successful in what you're doing? Anything you learned as a young person, or any particular mindset that really helped push you over the top?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big mindset guy. I see all these mindset guys, and I kind of think they're woo-woos. I'm not a woo-woo type guy.
A woo-woo?
I mean, yeah, woo-woo. You know those woo-woo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know, it's woo.
Here's what I think is, I think I've gotten to the way I am because basically I like to get people on an action path. How can we take action? And I think that's what got me best is, you know what? When I was a kid, Dad said, you're going to split those logs and have them stacked up by 4 p.m. Action.
That's action.
The biggest thing I think that got me someplace.
And that still works today.
I guess it still works.
No question about that. What makes you different than somebody else who might teach people,
so we go back to that SEO thing. Yeah. A lot of bloggers and blog trainers are out there telling people, SEO, and that's their whole focus. They built their entire business on that. I build everything I do, and really over 60% of my followers and readers come from non-SEO ideas. So I'm out there and teaching you a different way to bring traffic to your website.
Okay, now I don't understand SEO stuff.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to. Okay, good. Well, for a regular folk or whatever, somebody who would just give me the 2-second breakdown for SEO. What people will do is that so they come up on a search engine when you're looking for something.
They're going to look at your name, Dean Cain. Well, if I Google search Dean Cain, as that article. So if I wrote a blog post and had Dean Cain's name into it, now I can maybe get up there. Well, if 1 million people write an article about Dean Cain that week, I might be way down on the list. That's what SEO is. You're trying to grab a name that someone's searching. That's what
A name or a phrase
or
a thing.
or Superman. All right. You know, I mean, you've played Superman, but how many other people played Superman?
None.
Yeah.
Just me.
You're the best at it.
None that mattered. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
a couple other people have, and they're pretty good. I gotta
Yes,
admit.
yeah.
Christopher Reeve is still my favorite of all time.
You beat him on my kid. But
All right, I'll take that. Thank you. That's because we're friends. It's not fair. All right, so that's search engine optimization, but there's the way you teach is different.
I teach difference because literally, if I did an interview with you, not you, but if I did an interview, say, with our camera guy and shared his story on my blog, he's just as excited to find out that I shared it. He's going to go tell all of his friends. You know, like Oprah Winfrey did. I hate to use her, but Oprah did the whole thing.
She did okay.
She did pretty good at it. It's the same concept in blogging. Why not do the same concept? Bring them on, interview them, make them feel like the celebrity that you are, and now they go, oh, wait a minute, I'm a celebrity. And then if they know that I wrote an article and interviewed you, they're like, wait a minute, I'm on the same blog that Dean Cain's on, and they're going to tell all their friends.
Interesting. All right. Any particular piece of advice that you got as a youngster or anywhere along the line that you still follow today?
Oh, man, you know, as a youngster, when I was first couple jobs I had as a kid, I had a boss that I had to work second shift, and I was just a part-timer. And he always said to me, whatever you do in this job or in life, he says, while you're here at this job at night, run this business like you owned it. And that has been, I take ownership of everything I do in my life.
That's outstanding. I love that. I've given that same piece of advice to my son. I don't care what you do. If you're a janitor, be the best janitor in the entire world.
Yes.
Do the best at it you can. If your job is to clean this table,
Do the best.
to the best of your ability. That's great advice. All right, there's a little part here that the producers, Craig Dustwald, makes me do at the end here, which actually is kind of fun, and for you it's going to be interesting, I'm sure. We call it Rockstar Rapid Response, and what I do is I ask you a question, and you give me the first answer that comes to mind. It can be one word, it can be two. It's rarely ever just one or two, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
That was good. Who's your favorite band?
Van Halen.
Nice call. What's your favorite song?
Jamie's Crying.
Another good one. Same band, by the way,
Yeah,
for those of you who don't know. What is your favorite movie?
Joe Dirt.
Is that because you sort of favor Joe Dirt in the... No.
No, but truthfully, I'll elaborate on it real quick.
Yep.
Is literally...
This is worth explaining.
Yeah, he was an underdog. I've been an underdog a lot in my life because I'm different. I stand out. I'm not the same. That's why I relate very well to it. And he was very positive. No matter what life hit him, he was a positive man.
Well done, David Spade.
Yes,
Joe
David
Dirt.
Spade, I
You like that movie?
love it.
All right, are you a morning or night person?
Night.
I can see that. I would be shocked if you said morning. Where would you go if you were invisible?
If I was invisible, I heard, be a fly on the wall at Dean Cain's house.
That's a good spot to go. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
No creepiness or anything.
No, nothing creepy. Nothing good. All good stuff. What's your favorite food?
It's got to be Italian food, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Your biggest fear?
Being found out to be a fraud.
Well, but if you're not a fraud,
if you're not a fraud, that keeps you honest.
That's right. Any particular word you love?
I love Tim Gillette. Just saying.
That's a great. That's his name. Just gonna. Any particular word you dislike or hate?
Loser.
Loser.
Yeah.
Joe Dirt got called a loser.
I know.
He's not.
You see?
Positive guy. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the coolest, how cool is Tim Gillette?
I want to say I'm a 10, but in reality, let's say I'm a 7. Let's be honest.
That's kind of a fair thing. I think we all look at ourselves and go, we want to be a 10, but we're about a 7.
Yeah, about a 7.
6 plus 7. 7.
Yeah.
Mid 7s.
Yeah, around there. I'll take whatever I can get.
Well done. All right. Now, if people out there want to get in touch with you and to learn how to rock around their blog and or whatever it may be for them, how do they get in touch with you?
I have this interesting website called nottompetty.com.
For obvious reasons, because
Hashtag not Tom
this
Petty.
is not Tom Petty. It's Tim Gillette. And we'll be right back after this. Take us out with a Tom Petty song. I'm hoping it's playing right now.
Yeah.
Here comes a girl.
Running down the street.
Well done.
All right, man.